Gentle sunshine. The gentle waves of the Caribbean Sea lapped against the shore, mingling with the light scent of tropical flowers. This was supposed to be our dream vacation. After 2 years together, Ashley and I had finally decided to escape the monotony of daily life and indulge in a romantic getaway. But as often happens, reality fell short of expectations. Ashley had been unusually excited, even flustered, when we boarded the plane. She radiated happiness, her laughter filling the cabin like music. At first, I chalked it up to the anticipation of the trip. She had always dreamed of sunny beaches and warm seas. Yet, I couldn't shake a faint unease. Normally open and carefree, Ashley was glued to her phone. Every time I glanced at her screen, she tilted it away with a lazy smile. "Just work. Don't worry," she said dismissively. I let it go, not wanting to ruin the mood. Our first 2 days passed peacefully. Serene beach walks, candlelit dinners at local restaurants, and endless snapshots of us beneath palm trees. But Ashley remained distant, her phone a constant companion. On the third morning, as we enjoyed breakfast on a terrace overlooking the ocean, Ashley spoke up. "I want to go shopping nearby. Do you want to come?" I looked at her over my glass of juice. She was dressed a bit too elegantly for a simple shopping trip. Her summer dress hugged her figure perfectly, her makeup flawless, her hair held back with a clip she usually saved for special occasions. "No, you go ahead," I replied, stretching on the lounge chair. "Bring me back something nice." She smiled, but the smile felt forced. Something flickered in her expression. Relief? Excitement? She walked away, leaving a trail of perfume. As I sipped my drink and listened to the waves, unease settled over me. Ashley's recent behavior gnawed at my thoughts. I wasn't the jealous type, but something felt off. Unable to sit still, I decided to see where she had gone. I wandered toward the shops, my unease growing with every step. As I passed colorful storefronts, my eyes scanned every cafe and terrace. Finally, I spotted her. Ashley was seated at a small table, but she wasn't alone. Across from her sat a tall man with a confident air. His casual, expensive shirt and relaxed posture gave him away even before I recognized him. Trevor, her ex-boyfriend. My heart sank. Their gestures, their closeness, their laughter, it wasn't innocent. Ashley adjusted her hair, said something that made Trevor laugh, and his hand brushed hers. I ducked behind a column, my pulse pounding. Pulling out my phone, I snapped pictures of them together. Neither noticed. After a while, Trevor stood and gestured for her to follow. Ashley grabbed her purse and walked with him, her steps quick and eager. I followed at a distance as they crossed the street and entered a park. Under the shade of tall trees, they stopped. Trevor spoke, and Ashley laughed like she'd forgotten the world. Then, he pulled her into a hug. She didn't resist. Instead, she hugged him back, a brief but telling embrace. I turned away, sitting on a nearby bench to gather my thoughts. Not now, I told myself. Confronting her here would be foolish. When they finally parted, Ashley returned to the hotel. I waited until she disappeared into our room before following. She went straight to the bathroom, and the sound of running water filled the air. I saw her phone on the chair. My hesitation lasted only a moment. I picked it up and unlocked it. Her password was easy to remember. It felt wrong, but I needed the truth. Her messages with Trevor revealed everything. Months of secret texts, plans to meet in Cancun, and confessions of missing each other. One message stood out. "This vacation is the perfect opportunity. Tell him it's just souvenir shopping." I took screenshots of the most incriminating messages and sent them to my email before putting the phone back. When Ashley emerged from the bathroom, she looked serene, even happy. "Look what I got you," she said, handing me a cheap keychain. I forced a smile. "Thank you." She chatted about trivial things, her voice carefree, but I couldn't hear her. My mind raced, forming a plan. The next morning, I barely slept but felt ready. As sunlight filled the room, Ashley bounced out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel. "Today's our last full day. Let's make the most of it. How about a boat ride?" I nodded, masking my anger. "Great idea. Let's grab breakfast first." At the restaurant, she animatedly discussed plans for the day, but I only gave half-hearted responses. Her happiness felt like a mockery. Later, on the beach, we took photos together. Her suggestion. She laughed, asked me to stand closer to the water, and snapped pictures of what she thought were happy memories. That evening, after dinner, Ashley announced she was going out again. Just a quick trip for souvenirs. "Is that okay?" I met her gaze and smiled. "Of course, dear. I'm a little tired, so I'll stay here." She kissed my cheek. "I won't be long." The moment the door closed, I moved quickly. My suitcase was already packed. I double-checked the room, ensuring nothing of mine remained. At the front desk, I explained that we had to leave unexpectedly and canceled the room. I left a note on the bed. "Ashley, I know about your meeting with Trevor. I hope it was worth it. The room is canceled. I'm on my way home. Good luck." As the taxi sped toward the airport, I stared out at the glowing city lights. The betrayal still stung, but I felt an unexpected sense of closure. Somewhere in the distance, the gentle waves of the Caribbean Sea continued their timeless rhythm. As if nothing had changed, the noise of the streets felt alien, detached from the maelstrom inside me. My thoughts were already far from Cancun, far from the lies and betrayal, focusing instead on what awaited me at home. At the airport, I barely managed to catch the next flight. As I stood in the boarding line, the heaviness of the last few days began to dissipate. When the plane finally took off, I stared out the window at the twinkling lights below, feeling a strange mixture of exhaustion and clarity. There were no regrets, only a sense of finality. But what I didn't yet realize was that this sense of finality was merely the prelude to a new confrontation. The house was quiet when I returned, a silence I had once feared. Yet now, that stillness felt like salvation. In those first few days, I began to rebuild, blocking Ashley's calls, her messages, and even her social media accounts. The threads connecting us unraveled piece by piece. But the calm didn't last. It started with a call from my boss, Mr. Jenkins, a man known for his discerning eye and no-nonsense demeanor. "Alex, we need to talk," he said, his tone sharp but not unkind. "Of course," I replied, though my stomach churned. When I entered his office, he slid a stack of printed pages across the desk. "This came through the corporate email yesterday. Take a look." My heart sank as I skimmed the document. It was an email, supposedly from someone close to me, making outrageous accusations. Ashley, using a fake name and address, claimed I was aggressive, unstable, and dangerous. She'd even included doctored screenshots of text conversations to support her claims. "It's fake," I said, my voice shaking with both anger and disbelief. Jenkins leaned back in his chair, watching me closely. "We thought as much. The formatting is sloppy, and some of the phrasing doesn't match your style. HR flagged it, but they'll need a formal response." I studied the screenshots more carefully. Cropped edges, mismatched fonts, and illogical sequences of text confirmed my suspicions. Ashley had rushed this attempt to discredit me. "I can prove this is fake," I said firmly. Jenkins nodded. "I believe you. Just make sure to get everything documented." The fallout from Ashley's lies spread quickly. Friends began calling, their voices full of confusion and accusation. "Alex, what's going on?" Stephanie demanded. "Ashley says you left her stranded in Mexico without warning. Is it true?" "She says you accuse her of cheating." Another friend, David, chimed in. "Is that what happened?" At first, I hesitated, unwilling to air the messy details of our relationship. But I quickly realized that staying silent would only allow Ashley's lies to fester. The next day, I compiled everything. The photos of her with Trevor, the screenshots of their messages, and even the note I had left in the hotel room. I shared it with our mutual friends. Reactions came swiftly. "Alex, I'm so sorry I doubted you," David texted after reviewing the evidence. Stephanie's reply was shorter but no less telling. "It all makes sense now. She lied to all of us." Yet, Ashley wasn't done. A few days later, she sent me a direct email filled with anger and self-pity. She accused me of ruining everything and embarrassing her in front of our friends. She even claimed her meeting with Trevor was completely accidental. I ignored her email, but the attacks escalated. On social media, Ashley posted a long, self-victimizing rant. She painted me as jealous, controlling, and incapable of supporting her independence. She conveniently omitted the truth, her betrayal and manipulations. Fortunately, Ashley's carelessness became her downfall. Old posts from her social media, where she bragged about manipulating others and handling exes, gave me the ammunition I needed. I decided it was time to escalate. When I walked into my attorney's office, the air felt tense but purposeful. Mr. Reynolds, a calm and meticulous man, listened carefully as I detailed the events. Ashley's letter to my boss, her false accusations, and her social media smear campaign. "Do you have evidence of her actions?" Reynolds asked. "Yes," I replied, presenting the photos, screenshots, and her incriminating posts. Reynolds reviewed everything, a satisfied smile forming. "This is a strong case. Her actions, attempting to interfere with your job and tarnish your reputation, constitute defamation. We'll start with a formal notice." The following day, Reynolds drafted a stern, impeccably worded letter. It outlined Ashley's actions and warned that any further attempts to harm my reputation would result in a lawsuit for defamation and damages. Reynolds insisted the letter be delivered via a process server. "It'll leave an impression," he said. When Ashley received the notice, the fallout was immediate. A few hours later, my phone buzzed with a call from an unfamiliar number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Ashley's voice came through, strained and full of fury. "Alex, are you serious? You hired a lawyer to fight me? This is ridiculous." Her tone shifted between anger and desperation, but I remained calm. "Ashley, you made your choices. I'm protecting myself. You're blowing this out of proportion. It was just a misunderstanding," she cried. I paused, letting her words hang in the air before responding. "It stopped being a misunderstanding when you tried to destroy my career. This isn't about us anymore. It's about consequences." For the first time, Ashley had no response. After a few moments of silence, she hung up. The aftermath was quieter than I expected. Friends who once wavered now stood firmly by my side. At work, Jenkins and HR cleared my name, and my professional reputation remained intact. Ashley faded into the background, her attempts to retaliate thwarted by her own missteps. As the weeks passed, I found solace in the silence of my home, the same silence that had once seemed so daunting. It wasn't emptiness, it was peace. The betrayal had scarred me, but it also taught me the value of truth and resilience. I hadn't just survived Ashley's lies. I reclaimed my life from them. The noise of the streets felt alien, detached from the turmoil inside me. My thoughts drifted far from Cancun and the chaos Ashley had caused, focusing instead on the promise of clarity and peace awaiting me at home. At the airport, I barely made it to the boarding line in time. As the plane lifted off, I stared out of the window at the twinkling lights below. The heaviness of the last few days began to lift, replaced by a strange calm. There were no regrets, only the finality of knowing I had left something toxic behind. But that finality was just the beginning of a new confrontation. Returning home, the silence that once felt so daunting now seemed like salvation. I blocked all forms of communication with Ashley, her calls, messages, and social media. For the first time in a long while, there was peace. But it didn't last long. One evening, I received a call from Mr. Jenkins, my boss. "Alex, we need to talk," he said in his usual no-nonsense tone. When I arrived at his office, he handed me a stack of papers. This came through the corporate email. Take a look. The email contained bizarre accusations, claiming I was aggressive and unstable. Attached were doctored screenshots of text messages. I recognized Ashley's handiwork immediately. She was trying to sabotage me. It's fake, I said, anger bubbling beneath my calm exterior. We thought as much, Jenkins replied. But HR insists on a formal explanation. Get your evidence together. The screenshots were poorly fabricated, mismatched fonts, cropped edges, and illogical phrasing. That night, I gathered everything. Photos from Cancun, Ashley's messages with Trevor, and the note I left her. I sent it all to HR and prepared to fight back. Meanwhile, Ashley's lies spread to our circle of friends. Calls and messages poured in, each one echoing her false version of events. Alex, did you leave Ashley stranded in Mexico? Did you accuse her of cheating? At first, I avoided answering, unwilling to share private details. But the truth became my only defense. I sent our friends the evidence, shattering the lies Ashley had spun. One by one, the truth reached them. I'm sorry I doubted you, David admitted. It all makes sense now, Stephanie texted. Ashley's web of deceit began to unravel. But Ashley wasn't done. She sent me a string of voicemails, alternating between accusations and apologies. Alex, you got it all wrong. I just wanted closure with Trevor. I love you. Her words rang hollow, as fake as the smile she'd worn in Cancun. I didn't respond. Instead, I delved into her digital footprint. Ashley had always been outspoken on social media, and her posts betrayed her. Among them was a brazen confession. Sometimes men are so stupid they believe any story. The key is to smile convincingly. Screenshots of these posts, along with her taunting comments about manipulation, became part of my growing arsenal. Mr. Reynolds, my attorney, was impressed. This is a gold mine, he said, preparing a formal notice. The letter outlined Ashley's attempts to damage my reputation and warned of legal action if her behavior continued. Delivered via a process server, it sent a clear message. Ashley didn't take it well. Her calls became more frantic. Are you trying to ruin my life? You're pathetic, Alex, she screamed in one call, her voice teetering between rage and desperation. Ashley, you're ruining your own life. I'm just defending myself, I replied before hanging up. She left more voicemails, but I didn't listen. The tide fully turned when Trevor, the man she'd schemed to meet in Cancun, posted his own account online. I'm tired of the lies. Meeting Ashley in Cancun was as much a surprise to me as it was to everyone else. She lied about everything. His posts went viral among her friends. The backlash was swift and brutal. Mutual friends began cutting ties with Ashley. She tried to convince me you were paranoid, Laura said. But now I see the truth. I can't trust her anymore. The persona Ashley had carefully cultivated crumbled under the weight of her own lies. Desperate, Ashley reached out one last time. Alex, please talk to me. I made mistakes, but I don't deserve this. You could have stopped it. Her message felt hollow. I didn't respond. Soon, Ashley's social media disappeared. Rumors circulated that she'd moved to another city, trying to start fresh. Even Trevor severed ties with her, telling friends, I can't be part of this chaos anymore. My house was quiet again, but this time, the silence was comforting. The betrayal, once a dark cloud, had dissipated. I felt lighter, free from the weight of Ashley's manipulation. My life, though scarred, was slowly returning to normal. I had left Ashley behind, not just in Cancun, but in my past.